Hi traders, sorry for that delay. I was waiting for the recording to start. Thanks for joining us here at Admiral Markets live webinar. My name is Chris. Today is focusing on strategy, price patterns, and trying to take what we discussed yesterday and move on a little bit, go into a bit more deeper topics. Although we really went into some interesting concepts already yesterday. Before we take a look at the live markets, though, be aware of these two disclaimers. First of all, the fact that this webinar is shown to a global audience, but may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, take a look at admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity to find out more if it is suitable for you. And then also please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets in general are considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. All right, so Admiral Markets hosting this webinar. Take a look at the website admiralmarkets.com for more information regarding cryptocurrencies, but also regarding DAX, as you can see here on the main page, regarding Supreme Edition for MT4 and MT5, and some trading webinars. All right, so a lot of good info. Just check it out on your own. Take your time because there's a lot of good info to be found here. And typically websites got 30 seconds of attention, and that's it. And it's not worth, it's not the good approach for this website. You need more time to discover everything. Because all of these tabs are worth your attention. The analysis, the heat maps, the sentiments, the blogs, the education, and just, of course, information about how to trade. So take a look and discover that fully after this webinar. So I will probably have the webinar a little bit shorter than usual because I'm not feeling 100% at the moment. There's a little bit of a cold. But I didn't want to cancel it. It's not that bad, but I think that we'll just cut it a bit shorter than usual. Euro New Zealand, we can take a look at that. So yesterday we were talking about patterns in general, and basically talking about, for instance, how this particular formation right here on the euro dollar is making a correction after it made a bullish impulse, and how this corrective pattern could play out. And we talked about this S1, whether price could break below that, or whether price, would respect that level. Now, I said that the close of that candle was going to be important because if we have a close near the low, that would indicate strength, bearish momentum, and a continuation to the downside. All right? Now, and if we don't get that, and we had a low that was, or a close that was far away from the low, I should say, then in that case, excuse me, there was going to be some indecision, or if it was bullish, then I would expect a reversal. So in this case, we had about a half a candle wick. So I think that's an indecision candle. So I think, a bounce or break is 50-50 at this point. And so far, we've seen indeed price kind of make ups and downs, but pretty much not sure what it wants, right? It made a downside, unable to break S1 and moving up again. So quite indecisive, indeed. So from my perspective, I'm just waiting on the sidelines for the euro dollar at this point. I don't think that this doji might create a little bit of weakness, but ultimately it is still more at a support zone. So for me to go long, though, I would probably wait for tomorrow. I would probably wait for today's candle again. Sometimes this can happen, that if it's not that interesting, a particular pair or time frame, just to sit on our hands and wait is sometimes a better approach than taking 50 trades in an area where price is not moving too much. So if we get a bullish engulfing twin here, I still think that is a signal for upside up to the R2. For instance, and if we get a good bearish candle below S1, then I still think that's a good bearish signal. If we get a doji like this, I'll probably tomorrow morning take a look at the lower time frames and see how price is doing. At this moment, we have bullish engulfing twins on the 4-hour chart. So if we get a little bit of retracement and then a bounce, and then we get a bull flag, then that would look good for upside. Yeah, sorry, I have a bit of cold indeed. Thanks, Angel. I guess that's what you hear now at the moment, indeed. I had it a little bit over the weekend, then it got better, and now it's snapping back at me. It's not that bad though, luckily. So, but maybe you hear it still a bit in the voice, and but it should be not too bad. I hope. So let's take a look at. Well, if I'm talking to Angel, let's take a look at gold. But first, you're in New Zealand because Moicha was first with you're in New Zealand, and I will take a look at gold. Hi, Dushan. Good to see you too. Let me renew this template, and let's take a look at that. There we go. You should be seeing the euro New Zealand very soon. I think you still see the euro dollar. All right, there we go. Yeah, exactly, Angel. You're in New Zealand. All right, so all right, pretty strong August inside candle in September, and it looks like that we're trying to continue. Last week was bearish. All right, we had a good rally to the upside, as anticipated. The break above this resistance, but the fall was pretty sharp. So I think from a pattern point of view, though, it is. I think if it makes engulfing twins here, basically, it is still in a position to retest these resistances. I don't know if it's going to break above those resistances. It might. It might have broken an ABC or completed, sorry, an ABC like this, or maybe this is a wave 1, 2, right? Or this is a wave 5, and this is a wave 1, 2 into the opposite direction. But in both cases, no matter whether we have a bullish structure or bearish structure, with engulfing twins like that, I think there could be some upside pressure to at least go, I would say, to R1, for instance. So I think tomorrow we could use that information and expect continuation of that to the R1. And then it's a big question mark. What will happen with price at that point? And that is something that I think I don't have any particular favorite. I think it's about 50-50. Look, we're looking at the monthly chart. I would probably expect still the upside break, to be honest. But it's not, it is a pretty hefty resistance zone, and it's not going to be easy to break above that. So that still remains to be seen. So let's see if we get these engulfing twins. I don't think it probably makes sense to trade it today. I think if you wanted to trade it today, then it would have had to be the break of this triangle. That's behind us, so no sense to discuss that. Or on a 15-minute chart, perhaps, to trade this bull flag here. Right? That's behind us too. So I think looking at the euro New Zealand, I think it's probably better to wait for this daily candle to close. Look for an hourly chart, perhaps. See how it opens tomorrow. Asian session. How does that look like? Wait for a bit of a range. Wait for the break of the range. I think that's probably the best approach for this particular pair at this moment. But if you were trading this earlier, right? Maybe you managed to catch this break, right? Like this. And in that case, you got a good breakout of the triangle. Went up almost 100 pips, I guess. All right. But if not, that would be my plan. So now with regard to the gold, let's take a look. I was wondering yesterday. Sorry, just need to reach the gold chart there. There we go. Alrighty. So you should be seeing the hourly chart soon, and it is looking like a wave 4, 5. Now, I think that this could be a 5-wave finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we might get an ABC up, and then one more push down maybe. Let me take a look if that's realistic. If I put a fib from here to here. Let me take a look at the daily chart. All right. If this is a wave 1, and this is a 2, and we get a wave 3, and then a 4, and then a 5, it could go back to 1218. Is that something that's realistic? So let's take a look at the bigger structure. All right, we were saying that this could be an ABC. So yeah, there's definitely space, in fact, for that. And price could easily go back to 1200 or 1150 indeed. So back to the daily chart. If this is a wave 1, and this is a 2, and down it goes for a wave 3, yeah, there's plenty of space for that. And then a 4 and a 5, yeah. So that's one scenario, that this is a wave 1, and up we go for a wave 2, and down we go for a wave 3. The other one could be that this is an A, that this is still a B, and within B we're making an A, B, C. So upside could make sense from this point of view. Whether this is whether this is a wave B or a wave 2. So let's take a look at, sorry for going back and forth with these time frames here, but let me just quickly I wanted to take a look at, sorry, there's a bit of delay, 1 second. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. I wanted to take a look at, yes, now I remember. This first leg is 15,000. So $15. This one is about 14. And this one, the last leg, is about 12. Okay, so the wave 3 is not the shortest. That's important. Let's see. Angels ask or targeting 1295, and I think that makes sense indeed. What I would expect is an ABC. 1295 is a very, I think, very good level indeed to aim for. It is around the pivot point, the weekly pivot point, 1294 perhaps, 61.8 fib. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We should see a 3-wave up. 61.8 fib, I think, is a very logical level because of the weekly pivot point. It's a golden ratio number. We might even see some kind of head and shoulders pattern play out at around 1295, and there should be some good momentum to the downside if that occurs. So yeah, I think at the moment it is the most likely. This is momentum. This is choppy. So I don't expect this to be a wave B, and up we go for a C. But if we break above this, if there's a lot of momentum like this, then that would be a bit of a warning sign. I think that when price is moving up like this, it needs to show a 3-wave pattern that is struggling at that 61.8 fib. And that would be, I think, a good confirmation kind of pattern. The price is turning at that spot, and we could expect a pretty good wave 3 to the downside within a larger wave C, though, because the overall long-term structure is bullish. This is just a temporary bearish correction for the moment, but it could still be very interesting because it's a wave 3 on this time frame. I think that makes a lot of sense. What is the best moment to trade? Such a potential reversal because the price is down. Well, indeed, a pin bar like that it's risky, but because it's only an hourly chart, but there is some merit to that. On a 4-hour chart, we had a bit of a wick. It's not a great candle on a 4-hour chart. So, maybe a more conservative approach could be to wait for the first bullish candle on the 4-hour chart, wait maybe for a retracement halfway, and then aim for that 61.8 fib, for instance. Or wait for 2 bullish candles, or wait for the wave B somewhere here, and wait for kind of an inverted head and shoulders like this, all right, on the right side. and then take it. So depends how aggressive you want to be with those reversals. All right, just 1 second, folks. All right, so yeah, that's it regarding the gold, XAU USD. All right, so great info from Angel, and I hope that this goes well. Let's take a look at the dollar cat. Let's see, Dushan was asking for the loonie. That's its nickname of this particular currency pair. So let's take a look. All right, so we were not able to break above that top. We were talking about this yesterday, that I don't consider a double top unless at least there's a fractal or 5 to 6 candles, not breaking it. That happened, right? Fifth candle closed just a while ago. Angel's long from a different spot. Got it. No problem. So, from a different kind of setup. So, just as a that you're aware of that. So, at this moment, I think that dollar CAD looks like it is breaking this correction. So it definitely looks like dollar weakness at this moment to me. Double top, break of this support trend line, engulfing twins after the break, right? So there could be some correction down to 124, 123.50. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Got it, Angel. So, yeah, so basically, let me take a look at the daily chart. 1 second. Ooh, let's see. 2, 4, 6, seventh day, and a pretty big wick on that daily candle. So I'm really thinking that this is a bearish pressure at this moment. Now up down to the hourly. Yes, looks like a triangle. I think that if there is some triangle like this, some flag maybe like that, a break of that flag could be a good breakout to the downside. Now is not a good moment in my view because it bounces to weekly pivot point, and it's I don't think it's ready now because it's the fifth candle. So this momentum is out of steam. But if it goes sideways for a while and then breaks, I think it should be okay. Maybe maybe it could be even better to wait for the break of the weekly pivot point, look for a little flag on the lower time frame, and then continue. Depends on what time frame you want to trade it. I mean, if you're looking to trade higher time frames like 4 hour chart, um, I mean that could be a signal to think about, right? And stop loss above the R1, target at the S1 or S2. It's okay. It's a reversal trade, always risky, but could work out. We could take a look at the dollar index to get some more info about what the dollar is doing. Because the dollar, well, basically was showing some strength here still, but now struggling. So we're seeing a bit of a mixture on the dollar, really. We see downside, we see upside. No, I think this is looking like a five wave. So to me, it looks more like bearish weakness at this moment. Dollar weakness, sorry. um, and yeah, I would say this is more or less confirming maybe the dollar weakness against the CAD. That could also confirm the euro dollar upside tomorrow, I would say, and maybe even the pound dollar bounce at the 61.8, right? As well. So something to think about. Dollar yen is moving up, but because of the dollar weakness, yeah, basically, I wouldn't be. I think that this is a potential resistance spot for the dollar yen. So I don't think that that has much space to the upside. I mean, it could break. It's not something that I'm very interested in myself. The dollar CAD also, if it has a good daily candle close, bearish candle, then that's a good confirmation signal. If it's a doji, then you might want to get out for break even, for instance. All right, I think I'll take a look at two more, and then we'll probably close it at about half way, the half hour. Um, Angel has one in mind, which is NQ. Let's take a look at that. Nasdaq. And by the way, there are a lot of things you can trade, not only Forex here. Look at that. CFDs, what a list, by the way, as we're looking at this. Um, Cash indices, all different types. But I'm looking for, let's see. There we go. So definitely check that out on the website, admiralmarkets.com. CFDs, commodities, and Forex, all of them, all of these at least. And you can see what kind of list was available there. So let's take a look. Looks like a pretty strong bearish candles at the top there. Hang on, folks. There's a bit of delay. All right, let's get it going again. You should be seeing live feed soon now again. All right, so what do we got going? We have strong uptrend, nothing stopping that almost, right? I'm looking at least for 5 to 6 weekly candles that don't confirm a higher high, but that before I think that there could be a bigger retracement going on, but that hasn't happened, yeah, basically in the last 1.5 years. So I don't know how long we're going to wait for that before that happens. The 4 hour chart is the only thing that is showing some kind of bearishness at this moment. And yeah, it could be a bit of a rising wedge there. But the thing is, especially with these stock indices, is okay, you get a bit of a correction, but then find support and it could just keep going. So 6,800. Oh, we'll go on. Sorry, I uh, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not looking at this particular index, so I don't have any levels in mind where it could go to. But definitely, we can see the strength of this uptrend on a weekly chart. Once again, 1.5 years continuous push on a monthly chart. I would say there's been a continuous push since the Great Recession, with a little bit of a pause here in 2011, a little bit of a pause in 2015, but that's about it, and it's been moving forward ever since, really. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I think that indeed it makes a lot of sense to think about continuations at retracement spots. Now, how far this could retrace, as I said, I don't really look at this indice too much, but you can always try to use fibs as well, and we can try to put a fib from here to here maybe. I'm not sure if that's maybe too wide of a fib, but 23.6 fib around these tops here, I wouldn't be surprised if that could be a bouncing spot if it gets there, right? All right, so yeah, it's the indices are very strong. I think that this cannot last forever though, but no one knows when it will stop this uptrend, and I think it's premature to talk about when that could happen. What I'm really looking for is, as I said, at least 6 weekly candles that don't post a high at the minimum, and until that moment happens, who knows how far it could push and how long it could push. It's really difficult to say. Murphy's Law, of course, eventually, or not Murphy's Law, but rule of retracements is that eventually there's going to be retracement of some sort. But who knows how long that could take? I really don't know. I think we might use some Fibonacci. If you start to do homework, I'm sure you'll get into some Fibonacci retracement levels and ratios that could predict some kind of particular timing. Um, I don't kind of use those tools too much though, but I'm sure you can get into those details if you like, but it's not something I do typically. So anyhow, that was Nasdaq, huge uptrend indeed. Yes, I won't forget that, Angel. Thanks for the tip. Very good one. And thanks for being here. It was a bit more wave oriented than usual, but I hope you don't mind. Here you will find more info about some of these tools, some of these instruments. Here you go. Look at that. Indices, shares, CFDs, right? So if you're interested in some of those, that I just showed you a long list. No, that's the wrong one. Let's see here. No, I was showing you. What was I showing you? Here, right? Look at this. Here you go. Shares, long list of shares. If you're interested in that, just check out. There we go. Products, platforms for more of these free tools and indicators here at Supreme Edition, and of course, if you're interested in more webinars, right here, Forex and CFD webinars tomorrow, and then at the night are back. So looking forward to seeing you then, and wish you all great trading. Cheers, folks.